Here's a name I can say from the Eradicator.
Hello and welcome to this channel, everybody. This is the Eradicator, and in this video we are going to talk about Planet Tech V4, which is one of the features that is coming up in Star Citizen Alpha 3.8 by the end of next month. Gosh, it is coming really soon, and it is one of the features that is going to be prominently displayed during CitizenCon coming up in a week, so we are going to know about this very, very soon. But I wanted to talk a little bit about it because of this feature, because right, lots of because of this feature, there has been quite a lot of changes on the roadmap, which was covered in the previous video. I think that was 2 days ago, or actually yesterday. Video featured yesterday, and I wanted to go a little bit more into details when it comes to Planet Cake. What does Planet Tech? What does this entail, and why this caused so many delays on the roadmap? But first, guys, before we talk about it, let's talk a little bit about the giveaways, because this month I have a giveaway. I have about $200 of giveaways. First, for all the subscribers of the YouTube channel, I've got a Star Citizen Squadron 42 game package that includes a 2013 Aurora Legionnaire with LTI. That is a very vintage package from 6 years ago that I am giving away, guys. So don't miss that opportunity to have an LTI token and Squadron 42 if you don't have it already. All you need to do to get some winning is to subscribe to this channel and to comment to any videos posted this month. The winner will be announced during CitizenCon. Also, I am giving away for all the Patreons, thanks to the Matadors, a Luke and Scoop Drake game package that includes a Drake Cutlass and a Drake Dragonfly. This is an awesome package brought to you by the Matadors. So big shout out to these guys here. This is for Patreons only. If you're interested in supporting this channel and also get a chance of winning that, please check out the link in the description down below. Pledges are $1 a month, and any help is really necessary. Otherwise, just hit that like button, that subscribe button. That is also helping the channel a lot. All right, guys. Now, that being said, let's talk about the Planet Tech V2. Alright, guys, so first let's go back to the roadmap here on Star Citizen's website, robertspaceindustriescom, because here I think that the roadmap card for Planet V4 is very simple, you know, very, very subtle, very frugal, I would say, but at the same time, it does say a lot. So what it says, 19 tasks out of 30 completed. I'm pretty sure that there's going to be that we're going to still see quite a lot of that during CitizenCon, but let's read at what was written here. New planetary improvements, improved tools, flow works, planet surface blending, object scattering, and transitions. New transition generation driven by climate data, and new planetary effects included in Microtech. So this is really a lot already that they are going to include for Microtech. That's a lot of new things that are needed for Planet Microtech that they are going to include here in that tech. Now, why do they need that? First, a little bit of lore, guys. For those of you who are not familiar with Microtech, Microtech is the planet that is the furthest away from the Stanton Sun. And at the same time, there was an attempt to terraform the planet. Unfortunately, that attempt was not entirely successful, resulting in the climate to have very thick layers of clouds, as well as also weather that is usually quite bad. It's usually raining a lot or snowing a lot, and that affects the terrain, that affects the way ships are being flooded atmosphere, that affects a lot of different factors that need a lot of work for the devs to really render properly into the game. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about here is what's written down here, planet surface blending. What could that possibly entail? Well, I think that this picture that we have here is quite self-explanatory. You can see that you have some various terrain with snow, where some other terrains are a little bit greener. And that is because this is not exactly going to be the same as what you are seeing, for example, on Hurston, when you have some places that have savannas and some places that have trash and some places that have just cacti. Here, it's a little bit more complex than that, because we're talking about snow. So some places are going to have lots of snow, some places are going to have no snow, some places are going to have a little bit of snow. So and the more you go towards a place that has snow, the more snow there's going to be. So that's the kind of blend and transition that we are talking about here. Now, the next thing that we are also talking with this Planet Tech is the accumulation of various elements within a certain biome. For example, if it's snowing, there's going to be precipitation, so there's going to be more and more snow. Snow is eventually going to accumulate as it snows, and then when the snow stops, then the level of snow is going to decrease. Until maybe it melts. But that is, I'm just speculating here. But it's also entirely possible that some places are going to have more water. The water is going to evaporate because it rains less. So these are the things that we are expected to see in this Planet Tech V4, which is also going to pave the way for future planets. For example, we know that we are going to have planets are going to be a little bit more temperate. Planets are going to be a little bit more Earth-like. So I'm thinking of Terra, for example. We definitely need that tech, that weather tech, where sometimes it's going to rain, sometimes it's not going to rain. If it rains, there's going to be water, puddles of water. Maybe I'm not going to go as far as floods, but eventually then there's no more rain. There's going to be the sun come up. The sun will dry the water. These are the things that we are going to have the first iteration of in Star Citizen, thanks to the Planet Tech V4, and Microtech is going to be the testbed for that, which is why they are spending all of their efforts, all of their resources right now to finish Microtech first, and then the moons of Microtech are going to come in 3.9. This is the reason why, unfortunately, they have been delayed, because they cannot divide their focus on multiple objects. For this, they need to have at least one object done right, so that they can reproduce what they've done here to other objects. Now, the next thing that's very interesting that we see here is generation driven by climate data. What does that possibly entail? Probably this is something that they did talk about. They want to have different flows of air. They want to have a really dynamic atmosphere around planets, where sometimes the weather would be a little bit more stormy, some other places the weather will be calm, and they really want to simulate that entirely on the whole planetary level. So some places, for example, would have storms. These storms would generate heavy winds. These winds would make it very difficult for ships to fly inside. Maybe we'll have to, let's say, for example, we are in a place, a storm is coming. Maybe we would be stranded when we will have to wait until the storm is gone, for example. This kind of weather is going to bring precipitation, so we are going to again expect to see either rain or snow coming up on this very planet here of Microtech. So that's what this is going to bring to the game. Now, the next thing are the planetary effects, including in Microtech. So we know that there is going to be snow. There's going to be different variants of snow. We should expect to see a little bit of blizzard, if that we're really inside a snowstorm, but a little bit of drizzle as well. If it's like there are almost no clouds, just a little bit of cloud, just a little bit of snow. Maybe the wind is going to bring some snow from place to another. So we are definitely going to have various levels of precipitations, various different effects generated by these precipitation. Not just that, guys, but also the different lightning effects as well. If there are no clouds, obviously there's going to be much more sunlight to the surface, but that sunlight is also going to be altered by the amount of clouds that are just going to be above us as well. So this is also something that requires a lot of work. There's going to be a lot of work involving lightning in this Planetary Tech V2. So this is really this is going to be a major milestone towards more complicated planets that we are going to see in more complicated star systems in the future. So that's why these are reasons to be really excited for this Planet Tech V4. I cannot wait for CitizenCon and CIG to talk more about that. I will be covering CitizenCon, guys. I will be covering as many panels as possible. It's going to be in the middle of the night for me, but my wife is okay. She said, yeah, all right, you can do it. So I'll be spending the entire night with you guys to talk about Star Citizen and CitizenCon in about a week. Yeah, very excited about this feature. Tell me what you guys think. Do you think that this is maybe the most important part of Star Citizen Alpha 3.8? What are your thoughts about the experience that you are going to have with Microtech in this patch? I want to know in the comments down below. But now, guys, it's time to answer a question from one of the Eradicators who support this channel on a crowdfunding website, Patreon. And here, Bart Mace asks, "Hi, Eradicator. First of all, thanks for all the quality content. I like that you give your opinion the way you do, with the good and the bad. As a dad of young kids myself, the occasional interference of your daughter brings a smile on my face because, you know, they are right here. Always, wherever you go." Oh, that's true. That's true. It's the Eradicator Rat. "You seem to have a lot of inspiration, but if you did find yourself looking for some content, I have a question topic that I'm really interested in, but find so little about." All right, here we go. So, component classification like stealth, civilian, etc. are assigned to the components, but not implemented ship side yet. I believe the current vision is to have 3 classifications allowed per ship. I'm not sure if that is still valid, and some modifiers to slightly tweak it. Today, most of us use military or performance components because we can fit them, and they have the best stats. Once that changes, I guess we will have a serious change of popularity / usability of certain ships. How do you think this will impact the game as we know it today? A very interesting question here, Bart Miss, and actually, I'm going to disagree with you here because I know a lot of people who are sticking to industrial components. As far as I'm concerned, as a trader, this is what I'm doing. Of course, when it comes to combat, military or performance components are definitely the best because you are going to want to have the most power. But when it comes to trade, or when it comes to being an industrial player, you do want to have the industrial components because they are they are going to be more reliable, but they're also more energy efficient, and that is very important. I made a comparison a while back in the Cutlass. I outfitted an industrial content drive, and then I outfitted a military content drive. And what did I find out? I found out that with the industrial content drive, I could do several round trips between a planet to another. Sure, it was a little bit slow. But at least I could do several round trips, and that saved me some time because I didn't need to go to a rest stop to refuel the ship. Whereas if I had put the military component on the Cutlass, then yeah, I actually got from Crusader to Hurston faster, but I could not go back to Crusader because I spent a lot of fuel going faster from Crusader to Hurston. So I guess that each of these specific components do have pros and cons, and I would say that they vary depending on the purpose of your gameplay. If you're industrial gameplay, you want to make money because you invest in trade, you are definitely not going to have military components because it doesn't make sense. You are going to waste a lot of time in resources fueling your ship to go back to your place. Not to mention that it takes a lot of time to go to a rest stop. For example, you wait until your ship is refueled. That's maybe 5 minutes. It's a very long time if you have, for example, a Starfarer or a Caterpillar. So that's why I would say that these components really depend on the use that you are going to have for your ship. It really depends on what you're looking for. If you want to be a bounty hunter, you want to travel from one place to another as quickly as possible to catch your bounty, then yeah, military for sure. If you want to escort, let's say for example, you are a fighter, you have a Vanguard, for example, and you want to escort a convoy that goes from a planet to another. That convoy is not going to wait for you so that you refill your Vanguard and then escort them again. You are not going to have a military content drive, whereas everybody else has an industrial content drive. See what I mean? So it really depends on what you're going to do. It also depends on your gameplay, the type of mission that you are going to take as well. So I hope I was able to answer your question, Bart Miss. And if you want to have your questions answered in the show like Bart Miss did, don't forget you can subscribe to my Patreon page. Link is in the description down below. This is one of the perks that Patreons have. Also, Patreons get access to an exclusive giveaway each month. This month it is a Loot and Scoop Drake package brought to you by the Matadors. So I think that is a pretty awesome gift that we're having here. More about what's coming up in December for the Patreons during CitizenCon. That's all for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed today's content. Tomorrow we'll talk about trade, so stay tuned to the channel if you like trade or want to talk more about trade. But that's all for today. This is the Eradicator. I am signing out.